Hey everyone, my name's Michael and this is Fly by Mike. So today we had a great flight over to Pottstown and we did a mock check ride a little bit, and I actually didn't record the audio, so I'll just be able to voice over this video and explain what we're doing. We do a lot of engine out stuff and just a lot of like check ride stuff, so let's jump right into it. Hey everyone, so we just departed from Doylestown and we're on our way to Pottstown Municipal. I'm flying with my instructor Matt today, and I asked him if he could give me some pre-check ride questions to get me thinking while I'm in the air. And since I'm coming up on my solo, it's only a few months away, so I just want to get in the right headspace for it. So I didn't record the audio. I'm going to be doing a lot of voicing over this flight, so just stay tuned and maybe you'll learn something. Here, as we just departed Doylestown, we got a turn at 1,200 feet. Pattern altitude is 1,400, so to legally turn, we have to be at 1,200. And then I'm making my left-hand turn out to the west, over to Pottstown, and here I'm really strictly looking for any traffic, anybody's coming up, so then I can avoid them and make sure that I'm clear of everybody. And if you see me reaching my hand down, just like now, that's the trim wheel. So there's a little flap on the edge of the elevator, so that wheel controls whether that goes up or down, and it's just like really minor little increments that help stabilize the plane in the air. It's kind of like manual autopilot, so it's really a great touch, and it relieves the controls off of the pilot in command. So right here, Matt asked me, what if I got lost? Like all my avionics went off, my ForeFlight went off, my whole tablet, everything just turned off, and I don't know where I am. First thing is contact ATC. So I said, ask Philly Approach, say, hey, look, I don't know where I am. I know I'm a little bit south of Lake Nakamixon. Can you help me? And they'll most likely pick me up on the radar and direct me to a nearby airport. Another way is to know that I came from the east, and I'm flying west right now. So if I just look at my compass and then I hit a direct 180, then I'll most likely fly right back into Doylestown airspace. Another good visual cue is landmarks. So I know that Pottstown has the smokestacks right next to it, and that's a visual VFR checkpoint. So I can fly straight to that, and that's a really good point. And another one, you can see me rotating a dial right now, and that's the OBS to tune to a VOR. Pottstown is right next to a VOR, so I can just fly straight to a VOR, and that'll take me right to Pottstown. So this was a really good learning experience to check my ability to know this, and I'm really glad that he brought this up. Right now, Matt's gonna ask, where would I go if I only had 10 minutes of fuel left? And we are about 5 miles away from Municipal. Good thing with Pottstown, there's two airports. There's Municipal and Heritage. We're about like 2 miles away from Heritage. So he gives me a situation, and I'm like, well, we gotta get down. We can land at Heritage. And he's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I just kind of sit there. I'm like, well, I gotta get something fast. So I pull up their frequencies and I get the airport diagram ready. I know that they have right traffic. So I'm gonna be entering a right 45 downwind entry for 1-8. And yeah, I accidentally make my call left downwind. So it confuses everybody, but we get it corrected. So this was a good change of direction really fast and good experience. As we're coming in here, as we turn base, you can see the cooling towers that I'm talking about for Pottstown. And we're entering the 45 left down, 45 right downwind, runway 18, and I'm gonna walk you through the getting ready for landing. So right now we're on downwind, we're running parallel to the runway. And I'm trying to look for the numbers. The threshold of the runway is in the back window of my plane. So there I pull the knob, that's carb heat, because this is a November model airplane. Then I make sure that the mixture, that red knob, is full rich, that is getting the most fuel possible. Then I put one flap, 10 degrees of flaps in to slow me down, increase more drag, and then one big swipe of that trim wheel. So that's going to pitch me up and it's going to help me bleed off airspeed. And I want to try to aim for 75 knots around here. And then I make my base call. That's the second to last turn to final. And then I'm going to square myself up and then drop another notch of flaps, 20 degrees, further increase that drag. There we go. I just dropped it. And now we're going to continue slow up. I want to be around 65 here. And there's the runway. I overshot it a little bit, but it's okay. I'm back on the center line. And now I'm going to drop my third notch of flaps. So I have full flaps in, and I'm going to just glide this straight down, pulling the power back to around 1500, aiming for 60 knots. I have my aiming point picked out, which is the numbers. I know I'm not going to touch down there. I'm going to touch down further, but that's where I'm looking. I'm continuing to ease the power out. I'm a little bit high. And here we go. Power's coming all the way back to idle. There's my numbers. I'm going to start to round out, and I'm going to hold that nose up all the way, look towards the end of the runway, and there we go. I touch main wheels first, and we're going to taxi back and do it again. Alright, so we taxied all the way back. Now I'm going through my takeoff checklist. So flight controls, mixture, carb heat, fuel selector, heading indicator. Just going through the checklist, making sure everything's ready to fly. And lights are all on. Strobes and landing light coming on. And here we go. I'm going to make my call. And then we are clear to taxi to the runway. I don't hear anybody. I don't see anybody. And now we're going to take off. Pottstown actually has a noise abatement. We have to make a right-hand turn at 800 feet. So that's something that I never did before. That's pretty low to the ground in my opinion. So I'm going to have to adjust to that. But we did great. Here we're going to make our crosswind turn, remember at 800 feet. And then on the downwind, we're going to climb to 1300 because that's their pattern altitude. So we're going to turn, we're going to square it off, make sure I'm a good amount of distance, about a mile away from the airport. And then I'm going to turn downwind, make my location call, and stay on my altitude and my airspeed. And also continue to scan for traffic. Now we are on our downwind, ready to turn base, and we're going to do a power off 180. So watch the RPMs. There you go. We are simulating, we lost our engine. We just pulled the power all the way to idle. Now we're going to try to pitch for best glide speed. We're going to need a lot of trim using that trim wheel. We got to put on carb heat so the carburetor doesn't freeze. And we're going to hold off on the flaps because that's what I learned in my previous episode. And we're going to turn base as soon as possible and try to get on the ground. I'm going to try to shallow my descent as much as possible. So you see there, I added my 10 notches of flaps. That means that I know that I'm going to make the field and I'm just going to be able to slow up. And now we're going to turn straight to final. There's the runway. We're really high. I know I'm going to make it. So I dropped the rest of my flaps, 20 degrees and 30 degrees. Keeping that airspeed. So now I'm going to do a little slip. I'm going to put in full right rudder and then turn the ailerons into the wind. So my plane is kind of going sideways. That's going to slow me up, but also get me to the ground fast. See, I'm really high, but it's okay. And I'm going around. I just didn't like it, and that's it. What I like to say to myself when I'm on final is, I'm going around, I'm going around, I'm going around. That just puts it into my head that whatever happens, I can just put in full throttle and do another lap and try again. I think that's a really good mindset to have, is always be able to go around and that you're not forced to land no matter what. Alright, now we're back on the downwind and we're going to be ready to do another power off engine. There you go. RPMs are idle, carb heat, a lot of trim, keeping that airspeed, putting down a notch of flaps because I know I'm going to make it this time. Now I'm going to try to extend my downwind a little bit more so I'm not as high as I was in the previous try. Now we're on a much better glide slope, a lot better angle. I know I don't know I made the field yet. I'm still a little slow, still a little high. Now I think I made it, so I can put down all flaps now. Increase the angle of attack on the wings. And I'm still a little high. I can do a little mini slip here. Now this one I can definitely make it. And here I'm still saying go around, even though I'm this close to the runway. And there you go, touchdown. Here we go, we're leaving Heritage and we're going to be heading over to Municipal, the airport that we have first planned to go to before this whole diversion thing. And we're going to actually do a full power off at 4,000 feet. So stay tuned for that. And I never did one of those before, and we're gonna have to circle to land, simulating that we lost our engine in the air. So here I want to take the time while we're at 3,500 feet to go over what we're actually going to do here. So Matt brought us up to 4,000 feet, and we are right over Pottstown Municipal Airport. We alerted all the traffic in the area that we're going to be doing this maneuver. We are going to, once we hit 4,000 feet and level off, we're going to pull the power just like what we did in the pattern over at Heritage. And now we're going to have to circle to land. We're going to have to circle, enter the traffic pattern without engine power. So we're going to really have to be on our airspeed, be on our altitude, and our vertical speed to make sure that we can stay in the air and glide down without engine power. So right now I'm just putting in the mixture, and we're getting ready. And then we're going to pull the power and glide the plane down. So there you can see Matt just pulled the engine, RPM's dropped. I'm trimming it first. There's an acronym ABC. Airspeed first, make sure that the best glide speed is 65 knots. After A, we have B, best place to land. Since we're right over the airport, that's going to be our best place to land. And then C, checklist. That's only if we have time. And since we have plenty of time, we're in 4,000 feet, we can do the engine out in the air procedures, and we're just briefing through everything and making sure that it's like a troubleshoot, making sure that if it actually really stopped, that we can troubleshoot it and making sure that we could maybe kickstart it. Okay, here we still don't have engine power, and we are down to around 2,000 feet, 1,900 feet, and we're still descending. And we are making our base turn to the runway, and we're putting down our flaps. But one thing that I think I would have changed if I would have done this again is I would have extended my downwind a little bit more, because here I'm slipping it and I'm way too high, and I kind of underestimated how far the plane can actually glide without the engine. So here I'm really fast and I'm really high, but I'm coming into the runway and I'm going around. I just didn't like it. I probably would have landed on the runway, but I really would have had to kill the brakes, and I just didn't want to do that. So I decided to go around. And remember, just always go around, go around. It's just a great habit to get to fully understand. Now we're back off to head to Doylestown, and I'm really pleased with this flight. I understand a lot more about the plane and how it works and how it functions without the engine. So here's my hours for that flight, and here's my current hours. This was actually my 70th hour. I'm really proud of it, and let's head back. I'll see you guys in the next one.